I'm going to call to order the Board of Appeals for the Town of Duxbury this evening, June 13th. It's a little after 7:30. We have a number of matters on for hearing tonight. The first is case number 2024-12, which is the 1 Abrams Hill Road request for a residential pier. The applicant was asked to meet with the harbor master regarding the existing mooring field near the proposed pier location. And so why don't we hear on that one?
Mr. Chairman, before we do, I think I should note, I believe that I have a conflict here because I do business with Kevin and his firm.
Okay.
But I'll ask your advice on it. I personally don't believe that I would have any issue with acting in a forthright and upstanding manner. I don't know that, I'll ask Kevin, I don't think he would.
If you don't feel as if your relationship would affect your judgment in this case, you can say.
Okay, I don't think that it would. It doesn't appear to be a very contentious matter either, so.
Okay. So why don't we hear from you?
Perfect, thank you. My name is Kevin Dolan. I'm here to represent Camilla Hammer for 1 Abrams Hill. We propose to install a removable boardwalk. Boardwalk is approximately 88 feet in length, about 28 inches in width. Consists of aluminum frame, wooden planks, spaced to allow adequate sunlight to penetrate below. Total of 5 sections will make up the boardwalk, and it's supported by 12 helix piles installed within the salt marsh. The boardwalk will be installed each spring, and then the permanent piles will be left and removed in the fall and stored on up in the upland portion. We have a removable gangway and float. The proposed gangway is 30 feet in length and 28 inches in width. The gangway is aluminum as well and is secured to the end of the boardwalk and extended out to the float. Gangway spans a small portion of the salt marsh to the marsh and the tidal flat, but does not require any additional piles. The float is 10 by 20. I met with Jake Emerson, the harbor master, the other day, and we discussed about the location of the pier and the float. And we decided that spinning at 90 degrees will help prevent any interference in traffic, therefore shortening approximately about 10 feet of projection into the bay itself, or water. On that, that's what we propose to do. Any questions?
The question that we left you with was the harbor master issue. Did we get anything formal from the harbor master?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we got a memo today from Jake Emerson, the harbor master, stating, I met with Kevin Dolan yesterday, who was representing the applicant at 1 Abrams Hill on site of the proposed pier. I have no issue with the pier and gangway as proposed, but recommended that the float configuration be turned 90 degrees. This would reduce the size.
You'll do that?
No issue with that.
All right. Are there other people here who would like to be heard on the Abrams Hill pier request? It's anybody who wants to speak is welcome to do so. You just have to go up to the mic and identify yourself and tell us where you live. But anybody else on the Abrams Hill? Board have any questions?
I don't.
I don't.
All right. I'm going to move to close the hearing on case 2024-12.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You do have, you've got Boris too, so I'd feel better if I just stayed out of it.
Perfect.
I don't want any visits from the Attorney General.
Would the board like to engage in any discussion?
No, I'm very familiar with the area. I think it's a good spot.
All right. Then I would move that we approve the special permit for the pier conditioned on the condition suggested by the harbor master.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye, Wayne.
Aye, Emmett.
Aye, Tanya.
Aye, Boris.
Okay.
Thank you.
You bet. So we had, the next thing on our agenda is a continued hearing for 7 Spring Street, case number 2024-13. Who was chairing that one?
Sean, were you?
Is it me?
Yes.
Okay,
All right, you want to chair it?
sure.
Good.
All right. Are you staying?
I'm going to stay.
Okay.
There's lots of stuff to do tonight.
Okay. So I believe the only thing we have gotten in since then is the letter from Ruth and Soren Jensen from 4 Puritan Road.
And then we just got this letter too.
This one was received June 11th from Stephen and Valerie Kersner at 40 Massachusetts Road. It states, "To the Zoning Board of Appeals, we are writing because we will be out of town on the evening of June 13th and cannot attend the meeting. We would like to voice our opinion of the pier project at 7 Spring Street. We have been walking the beach here for over 42 years and have seen many changes. The way this pier is presently designed is not acceptable to us. At age 75, we would not like to either duck to pass under the pier nor climb stairs to go up and over it. If the pier is to be built, the clearance beneath it should be at least 6 feet. When John Reed built his pier, he installed stairs as well. Subsequently, however, he chained them and posted private property signs so that they could not be used. In addition, he removes the stairs in the off-season. What is to prevent the owners of the 7 Spring Street Pier from doing the same? The owners of 7 Spring Street are summer residents and would be using this pier for only a few months of the year, yet the pier would be a deterrent to us and many other beach walkers for 365 days. The Garabino family has solved this problem by installing a portable walkway to the water, which is removable in the winter. It does not interfere with anyone walking by on the beach. This might be proposed as an alternative plan to the 7 Spring Street Pier. In conclusion, we are against the pier at 7 Spring Street as it presently is written, but would be willing to approve it if it modified as stated above. Thank you for your consideration." So those are the 2 things. I know there was a site visit taken on, what was the date?
May 17th.
Thank you, May 17th. I was not present at that, but I did go and do my own site visit after that. So I was able to see the site. So, Mr. Brogna, did you?
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Paul Brogna, Seacoast Engineering in Duxbury. From a formality viewpoint, we had 4 members 5 weeks ago. Could I ask who the 5th member will be tonight? I assume either Mr. Thorne, Attorney Dennison,
Thorne.
Phyllis? Okay.
I will be, yes, I've viewed the
And you've read the
meeting that I
paperwork,
missed
so
and signed the
everything
Mullen.
is...
He signed the Mullins.
Because you were at the site visit on the 17th as well, I believe.
I was, yes.
Correct, thank you. Okay, I just want to introduce Jennifer and Dr. Eric Berg from 7 Spring Street. They're the owners of the property the last few years and the applicant for us at this project tonight. When we met five weeks ago, at least I gave a presentation on the project. It's a 4-foot wide pier coming out of the bottom of the stairs at the Berg property and coming up about 3 or 4 steps. You can see here, the coastal bank is in this area here. We have the beginning of the walkway on the southern end of the property and heading south towards Kingston. The walkway itself is 127 feet in length by 4 feet in width. There's a platform at the end, 6 feet in width by 8 feet in length. So the total length of the permanent structure is 135 feet. We then have the 2 seasonal components, the gangway, 3 feet by 25 feet, and a 10-foot by 20-foot float. And at the beginning, we have the crossover stairs required in accordance with the State Environmental Protection Office requirements. Okay, during the course of the meeting, last month, there were a number of questions coming up from the neighbors, and I know at least the four of us that were here that evening listened to them. Obviously, it's a public meeting tonight, so if they want to, reinforce something or speak again, obviously it's up to, the chair here to do. But I think importantly, the day we had that site visit, Friday afternoon, the 17th of May, Mr. Boynton, Mr. Thorne, and about 10 or 12 neighbors were there, and we basically discussed in place the components of the project, location of everything, where the mean high water line is, how high the structure has to be to meet the state requirements, where the crossover stairs are proposed to be. Okay, I know there were 3 or 4 suggestions from the residents of the area. I'm not sure if it's appropriate to bring up each and every one of them. I've taken notes. I'm prepared to comment on them if it's appropriate.
Yeah, that would
You
be
don't mind?
fine if you want
It may
to.
take a few minutes, Tanya, but
Sure,
that's okay.
that's okay. Yep.
All right. One question was, why can't we begin the pier at the beginning of the salt marsh and then not build it on and attach to the wooden stairs coming down the embankment on the coastal bank? And I know I've said to the people that day and 5 weeks ago, Christine, it definitely can be done. Okay? It's not inappropriate to build it that way. It does meet the requirements, but there are pluses and minuses to it. Okay? One of
Paul,
the...
say that again. What, I got lost for a second.
There are
What
some
was the
pier-
suggestion?
Begin the pier at the beginning of the salt marsh. In other words, don't tie it to the stairs
it,
coming
okay.
down the embankment.
Got it.
So you don't have a crossover
Yep,
stairs,
yep.
beach stop. Okay. So anyway, if we would begin in that location, we would have to come up 5 feet. And 5 feet is about 9 or 10 steps. Okay. So obviously, the family would have to come down the stairs with their fishing gear, their beaching gear, whatever they want to bring down, come down the stairs, cross over the sand, and then up the 9 or 10 stairs to get on the walkway, to walk 127 feet, or it'd be less than that. So let's just say 115 feet, and basically get out to the end of the structure itself. It's not the normal way we design it, but when we were asked the question, could it be done, in all honesty, yes, it could be done. Okay? When you look at the practicality of it, and I look at it from a safety viewpoint, if you're taking stuff down the embankment, you're coming across the sand, you're coming back up 9 or 10 stairs, if there's a better way to do it, I would expect any homeowner to look at it from a functional viewpoint and a safety viewpoint as well. So that's why our preferred design, and the vast majority of the ones in town, are designed this way, and they serve the components of the beach activities, the boating activities, just as smoothly and as efficiently as possible. Okay. Another question was, could we add a ramp to the gangway, or take the first 10 or 15 feet, take it off, and basically come up 3 or 4 steps and raise the beginning of the pier another 1.5 feet, 2 feet high, and have a 15 or 20 foot ramp coming down to meet the angle of the pier at the beginning of the salt marsh. Okay? And if we were to get 6 feet of clearance underneath it, we wouldn't need the stairs. Okay, I think, Bob, was that the purpose of it? You'd meet the design requirements, it would allow people to walk underneath, but we wouldn't need the stairs.
Well, you need stairs because that's Massachusetts law.
But if we had 5 feet at or near the mean high water line, technically we would not need it, but
I don't know how I get into this conversation.
If you have a comment,
Right,
if you
right,
wouldn't
right,
mind
right,
directing it to the board, yes, and coming up to the microphone so the people at home can hear you for the record.
I'd love to, sure.
how about-
Bob Burpee, 43 Priscilla Lane. What was suggested was, the design shows, I believe, the pier starting 3 steps up on the existing stairway that comes off the house.
The original, I mean.
The
what we're
design
looking
as
at.
it stands now.
Right, exactly. Okay.
So, and I guess I need some clarification on this, because when we were at the site, I asked what the height of the pier was between where it attached to the stairs and the crossover stairs. And the answer was 4 foot 8 inches. I can't see how that could possibly be 4 foot 8 inches. You're only 3 steps up on the existing stairway. And then if you look on the plan also, on the marsh side of the crossover stairs, it shows a height of 5 feet. And I kind of question that as well. But anyway, the point was, if you went higher up on the existing stairway with the start of the pier and went straight out, you're going to gain height with the pier itself. So if you go up 3 steps, theoretically, I think the rises are 7 inches each. Theoretically, you're going to gain another 21 inches or thereabouts. But again, I don't think starting at 3 steps up, you're 4 foot 8 inches off the beach to begin with.
I don't think those risers are, because I actually went out. They're kind of,
I threw a tape on them. And then
were they 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
But,
If-
all right.
Just to address Mr. Burpee's question, the 4.8 feet is taken from the sand elevation at the time we did the survey, which is at 4.2 feet, right around the mean high water line. End of the beach, beginning of the salt marsh, okay? And we come up 4.8 feet to meet the state requirement, from the sand elevation to the bottom stringer on the walkway, okay? So those are the numbers. It's less than that, obviously, as you get closer to the coastal bank, closer to the stairs coming up. There's actually, according to the CAD file, about 7 to 8 inches in vertical elevation, vertical drop of the sand from the toe of the slope of the wall to the beginning of the salt marsh. And it was there yesterday when I was there as well. So anyway, that was another option, okay? But the time we talked about it, we talked about if you raised it up and could walk underneath, you wouldn't need the stairs. Well, obviously, in the homeowner's best interest here, the stairs are as much an asset to them as it is to anybody else. If we didn't put the stairs on, then they wouldn't have access to the beach.
But
Based on this
they could
premise.
still put the stairs on, couldn't they, Paul?
They could still put it on, sure.
Yeah, even if they
The
had 6
question
feet
that
of
afternoon
clearance.
was in lieu of the stairs.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if the stairs aren't obstructing the passage at mean high water, then why not have the stairs go down to the beach out of the way of people passing under it at mean high water with 6 feet of headroom?
And kill
You're
2
not going to get
birds?
6 feet, though. You're not going to get 6 feet. We're going to gain about 8 to 10 inches
If you-
from the 4.8. That's
if you-
about 5,
if you
5.5
raised
to
it-
6.
If you raised it up in order to gain 6 feet, then you'd have 6 feet.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Right.
Correct.
And then, and
If
if
we wanted 7 feet, then we'd go a little bit higher.
the stairs were down, then you kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The homeowners get access to their own beach, and the other folks can walk under it,
You'd only need 1 set of stairs going down to the beach
just for them.
instead of 2. And to get from their home out to the end of the pier, they're still going down the same number of steps, right? There's just gonna be
Even less.
fewer here and a couple more there.
Okay. The direction that we're taking, we have looked at.
Okay,
All right,
and it's
if-
not an option to do it that way?
Let me go through the other options first.
Okay,
Okay? Okay. Another proposal that came in is, which I like, but we can't do, is the one that came in yesterday from the Kurtzers. Bring it up to 6 feet, everybody could walk over, not a problem at all.
isn't that the same option?
No, because we can't raise it up 6 feet because our bylaws require us to go the lowest permittable elevation, which is the 10.2 on the plan. Our bylaws put that cap on it.
Can we allow that, Wayne, or not? No?
No. We've talked about this in other projects, and you need a variance for it. I like the idea, but, yeah, whether we're up 5 feet or 6 feet, it's still gonna work.
Another thing to put on your planning board agenda. Thanks.
Okay. Now, with what we just discussed.
Right.
Okay. Dr. Berg and I have talked about this, okay? And there's the possibility, we haven't obviously done any conceptual work on it, but could we in fact bring up the beginning, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 steps, where we would have the required height elevation to meet the requirement, or to allow people to walk under it more easily than what's on the current plan? Okay? And still have the stairs there for the homeowners to use at the beginning of the salt marsh, the end of the coastal beach, and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, here's where you get into the 4 feet that we would need for the stairs, which are 3.5 feet in usable width, plus the overlap, would have to be at the same elevation as the pier, coming back 4 feet. So if we're gonna take 20 feet for the angled ramp coming down from the wall to the beginning of the walkway, we're gonna lose 4.5 feet to meet that elevation, so the slope of the walkway will be a little bit steeper than what we might think, because the rise will be the same, but the run will be 16 feet instead of 20 feet hypothetically. Okay. But it
But
is,
you still have the real estate to put the stairs down.
we have to put the stairs at the beginning of the salt marsh,
But
correct?
do you have the real estate? I don't have the, I'm
We
not
have the
looking.
real estate? Yes.
Okay, super.
Can I ask
But
Paul
if
a
you were to
question?
ask me tonight, are we going up 4 steps or 3 steps or 5 steps? I can't answer that right now, because I honestly don't know.
What were you saying, Jim?
Can I ask Paul a question real quick?
Of course you can.
I think, just for clarification, because I was getting a little lost in what you were saying, you're referring to the slope of the gangway, right?
No.
Getting steeper
The
because
slope
it's
of the
shorter?
beginning of the pier, the beginning of the walkway coming down, Jim, from, let's just say, the 3rd or 4th step up from the
Yeah.
toe of the slope.
How does that get steeper in angle?
If we bring it up another 3 to 4 steps, another 21 to 28 inches, to allow people to walk underneath it.
Yeah?
But we would still put the stairs on for the use of the family. But the stairs are there for the public to use if they chose, if they so desired to.
This is a different option than the last one? Okay.
You still get the stairs, but
It
they're,
is a bit different. Instead of going up, they're just ramping it.
so the ramp is a little bit steeper, that's all.
Okay.
When you refer to the ramp, you mean the pier itself
The
has a
beginning of the
slope to
pier
it?
would be a ramp for,
From the stairs,
15 to 20
he's gonna
feet on the
ramp to
hypotenuse of the right
the
angle.
pier.
Okay?
But you're gonna gain your headroom at mean high water out at the 4.2 or 3. So if you ramp it down, you're not gonna get the headroom at mean high water, are you?
but the headroom will be closest to the wall, not on the beach side. not
It'll
on
be
the
right by
ocean
the,
side.
it'll be probably at the foot of the stair.
Correct. At the
Right?
toe of the slope of the Ahmed
This
stone
much,
wall.
enough to,
Yep.
or that much. Got it.
So,
But one other question, Paul. Can you, would state regulations permit you to, you come down the stairs to a landing, the beginning of the pier. The pier goes out, leaving 6 feet of space beneath the stringers and the beach. And then at some point, perhaps when you reach the edge of the salt marsh, you have 3 or 4 steps down on the pier, continuing out to a,
That's dangerous.
that's one of the things that we conceptually talked about yesterday.
okay, and that would be permissible under state,
Well, the steps would be at the end of the ramp and the beginning of the steps, if you follow what I'm saying. In other words, again, if you take that 20 feet of diagonal from the beginning of the wooden stairs, beginning of the pier, you're coming down 16 feet to the 4-foot wide crossover stairs, and then the permanent pier itself. We would, based on the angle, would we add 2 or 3 steps to save 14 to 21 inches versus just the normal angle coming down from the top point to the fulcrum.
right, but just to be clear, I'm talking about putting steps in the pier itself. So
Well,
if you're
that's-
looking at it from the side,
Yeah?
okay? You come down the stairs, down the bank from the lawn. You're on the pier. The pier goes out to the edge of the salt marsh on level or
Level.
close to level grade.
Then go down.
Then you have 3 or 4 steps on the pier, and then the pier continues out. I'm not talking about the steps to go down to access the beach on either
Repeat
side.
that one more time.
So you don't block the view, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not even, no, I'm just
Just so you
talking
get
about.
headroom.
So you're gonna walk,
Beach.
you're gonna walk straight, you go down, whatever, X amount of steps, the granite steps. You're gonna walk out flat, and then he's suggesting 1, 2, 3, drop the pier.
So in other words, we would have either I'll just say a flat ramp, if you know what I mean. And
It's
then two or three steps
we'll
coming
call it a
down.
landing, Paul.
Well, it's not, it's,
Isn't there a landing on Romano's Pier partway down the slope, or is it a
that
continuous?
was, those were built in a ramp that's been there 30, 40 years.
Yep.
Non-compliant.
But there's a landing there. So can't we call that a landing instead of a portion of the
It
pier?
was built in, we're not building anything into this, no.
I understand, but if you come down the stairs that exist, you hit a certain point, you
Yep.
extend out with a landing,
And then down 3 or 4 steps.
and then have 6 feet of headroom at mean high water, should be at mean high water, not at the edge of the salt marsh, so they have the right to pass and repass, and then 3 or 4 steps, and then the pier starts there.
It can be done. It's not
Yeah.
unpermittable.
But it's the same number of stairs down from the top to the bottom. We're not
We looked at,
adding.
again, you can, again, if the 3 or 4 stairs work, which they should under normal conditions, then we can design that and have it part of the construction of the first 20 feet of the ramp slash walkway.
All right.
I think it was also mentioned at the site visit that all of the folks in the neighborhood would rather see that in order not to have to duck or go up and over the stairs and down the other side. And they would not be opposed to the project if you constructed it that way.
Or the ramp.
I don't understand the ramp.
So he's just gonna,
We're going out flat and
No,
have 6
the-
feet at mean high water, so why would you slope it?
he's starting at the, go 3 steps up, he's going in here, he's gonna catch 6 feet above the, right,
At mean high water, yeah.
right there, still have his, still pass regulation, everybody can walk through, and the homeowners don't have to walk 50 feet and go down 3 more steps.
In other words,
up.
Freeman, if we go up 3 steps at the beginning of the walkway, right off the wooden stairs on the embankment, we'll come across flat, and then we'll have 3 steps coming down
right, I
at
get
the
it.
beginning of the stairs. So we're going up 3, we're coming down 3. So it's
I
level.
have a ramp, though.
No, it's an angle.
3 steps.
That's what I'm,
Exactly, that's exactly the tip. But here's where, if we come up an extra 2 or 3 steps there, then we come down 2 or 3 steps. The beginning and the ending,
There's no reason why you can't do
it's not unpermissible. It's
You
different.
you don't need a slope section, though.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it meets all the normal requirements.
Then bingo, that's it, right? Freeman?
Continue this?
That's it, right?
Definitely, no question.
I'll pass it that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him, draw it up, I'll pass it.
Lauren, for future reference, we should probably have a Sharpie.
What?
has to be agreeable to
Just so that we can use the,
You gotta put the picture in it too. We gotta put the
I
picture.
know, I know. We need to get the picture up on the screen. I'm
gonna
not
ask-
sure
I'm gonna
if
ask
you
them.
put it in front of your
That's
computer or,
Scribble it on the wall.
All right, we can't do this.
okay. Can we just, all
can-
right.
yeah, yeah,
Hello?
Paul.
We need to have, if the building commissioner could somehow show that to the audience at
I
home.
think I did.
On Zoom.
Not this audience, but
that Zoom?
Zoom, if we can, would be ideal.
Yeah, it's pretty official.
Could we bring up your cross-section on the wall here, Paul, and
What he's got, what,
whatever Lauren has?
Lauren, do you have the?
Lauren, do you have the
The 11 by
cross-section?
17,
Yeah,
the
let me take
small
a picture.
sheets, I think it's,
Instead of the aerial.
yeah.
It's on this, is it on the same plan?
Yes.
Profile, top of the,
Got it.
the top of the D-size drawing had the profile on top.
Good.
Couple guys in there that can read it, okay. Up top. Keep going, yeah, right
There we go, yep.
To the left, to the left.
If you don't show the stairs, I guess, right?
Basically, it begins.
Paul, could you bring the microphone?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
How much headroom do we have at mean high water, Paul?
How 4.8 feet, that's why the stairs.
Okay.
But 4.8, that's why the stairs required, we don't have the 5.
So how many steps is that to go up in order to have?
4.8, 4, 8, but 8 steps.
No, to get 6 feet, from 4.8 to 6 feet.
Could we just
0.8,
cut the comments from the audience, please, while the
10,
presentation is
8,
going?
6,
So it's
3.
1.2, right?
yeah.
Which is 14 inches,
1.2 is 14, 1 point, yeah, round up to 1.4.
2 steps?
2 steps, yeah.
Sounds awesome.
That works. Okay.
Can you take the existing stairs that access the beach and move them closer to the shore?
These?
Yeah. Closer to the
We
bank?
could, it's something to consider now that we're gonna put steps in here instead of have the angle of descent for the ramp. It'll be a flat walkway coming
And there'd be
across.
fewer steps for the owner to get down to the beach too, if you move those towards the bank.
Well, the height of the walkway is still, can't get any higher, can't get any lower.
But the beach gets higher.
The beach gets
And the sand's
higher,
gonna move.
Right.
Yeah.
whatever, but the
Yeah.
beach is a lot higher.
Yep. Again, we got an 8-inch difference between the 6-foot elevation here and a little over 5 feet here before we get to the 5 and the 4.8. So in that respect, there's about 6 or 8 inches in elevation change between the sand at the,
That's another step.
but that's tidal, of course. Okay?
So with this, you would meet regulations, local.
Conservation would not change. It still meets all our design
right.
requirements for, what, 410.20? I think of the design requirements within the bylaw. And with the Corps of Engineers and the DEP, we just have to revise the plan with them, and we filed with that 2 months ago. But that can be done. It
Is it-
doesn't change their requirements. It's just a, if you will, a topographical change on top.
Got it.
There's no impact on sun
You're gonna check that?
clearance, any sort of resource area protection, so it should be fine.
Yeah, if I drink it all.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
Is it appropriate to ask the homeowners a question? They can go up and answer it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are you okay with what we've just, that final?
You need to go to the microphone.
Yeah, after,
Thank you.
to answer the question.
You can just nod if you want to.
Yeah, no, we're not opposed.
Great. That's it.
Yeah, we're fine. Like, you know, where the steps are doesn't mean a big difference. If people get under and they're happier with that, we're fine with that too.
Terrific.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions from the board?
No, if we had technical drawings and everything to approve,
Yeah.
I would love that. And I would approve.
I could think of 2 alternative concepts right now, but
Well, we've had 3. I don't know.
No.
We need to go to
2
6.
similar to what we're talking about,
Okay.
like a preferred option A and a preferred option B, but obviously it's up here, it's not
Right.
there yet.
I think if they want to
But they're all
do,
the same dimensions, just a little bit different design.
I think if they want to do a ramp from where you come to mean high water down a certain distance, that doesn't matter, as long as we've got 6 feet at
At the
mean high
wall.
water.
Yep. And we don't change the height of the walkway, so we're complying with the zoning bylaw.
Perfect.
We can't change that.
Okay. All right, so next, we want to hear from the community members as to this proposal, yeah?
Again, Bob Murphy. I think the only thing I'd like to see is that rather than a number of steps going up, that it's 6 feet. Whether it's 6 steps up or 12 steps up, or whatever it is, the clearance is 6 feet. That's really the issue. So right now, the plan shows it at, I think, 2 or 3 steps up. So if we move 2 or 3 more, I'm not sure that we're going to get.
So you'd like to see the technical drawing say 6 feet?
Just 6 feet.
Which is what he would have to do.
Yeah, that's,
At-
whatever it takes
At
Yep.
mean high
up to
water.
get 6 feet.
Correct.
6 feet below the lowest structural member, right?
At
Clarification.
mean high water, which is where they have.
6.8 feet to the height of the walkway.
And also, it saves people going up the stairs, and I think it creates a huge, greater, less liability
I agree.
on the part of the homeowners.
Sure,
That People
absolutely.
aren't crawling all over their dock, their pier, just.
Any other comments, questions?
So do you think it would be appropriate to continue this meeting until Paul can draw all of this and then come back and then
And then we all approve it.
yeah.
I think the two options that I'm thinking about are very similar. Again, the dimensions of the pier are not going to change. It's up to you folks.
What's the second option, Paul?
Hold on, this is the fourth, not the second.
Yeah, just how we tie,
I just said two
how we tie in the
Two more.
steps to the beginning of the crossover stairs. Okay, do we pull the stairs back a couple feet? The components are the same.
I would move them as close to the seawall as you can get them.
It's just a matter of, as Mr. Burpee has said, let's get up to the 6 feet, so we have 6 feet of clearance to the lower structural timber, and then come over, then down the stairs to the standard 4.8 feet that we have.
But not too close, so two people can walk under, you can't have a cave going under, With the,
I would like to see the stairs up against the wall
oh, first?
so that it's fewer steps for the owner to get down to the beach. One step less, right?
If we were to do that at that higher elevation, then we would have, 1, 2, 3. I'd have to run the numbers through, but the steps might change 1 or 2 steps. I'm guessing a little bit. I don't have the numbers outside of the fact that, again, we got 8-inch differential between the sand on the beach at the toe of the slope of the wall and 8-inch lower at the beginning of the salt marsh. There's a step right there.
I don't think one step will kill him free.
Nope.
So, but we're happy to do it.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions?
So we have a couple options. We can continue the hearing until another date, and you can come back with plans to demonstrate what we've talked about. Or we could vote on it with the conditions that they do X, Y, and Z.
So close the public hearing and then we could vote. Contingent upon Paul coming back with that set of plans that shows 6 feet.
Well, if he's coming back anyways, then we're not close.
Yeah, we
Right,
can't
right,
close it.
right,
I
right.
would not close it if we're going to come back.
Right.
Does everybody feel comfortable voting on it with the conditions? Or should we have him come back?
I do, because he's not getting it up here unless he draws it to say what that is.
So
But
Jim's not gonna give him a building permit unless he draws it the right way? But I would think all the neighbors would wanna see the
sure,
design.
in writing.
I think we should just continue it. That'd be my vote.
Okay.
Continue it, see some new drawings, and whether you slope the pier from the stairs or go out from the stairs and then 3 more down to the pier, however you want to do it, however the homeowners want to do it. But I think we need to see
The
a
6
drawing.
feet.
6 feet at mean high water.
Yeah. Drawing that shows the 6 feet, and again, however you'd like to do it, with a ramp or going out and then down 3 more steps or whatever, whichever's your preference, just to achieve that 6 feet.
So the 6 feet will be at the mean high water line?
Yep.
So I would entertain a motion to continue the hearing to allow the applicant to come back with definitive plans that demonstrate the pier would be 6 feet below the lowest structural member in a mean high tide watermark.
How much time does he need and what do we have for dates?
Right, that was my next question.
Our next meeting, Emmett and Philip are
I'm
not
glad, yeah,
available.
so it'd be a meeting after that.
Pushes it to July 11.
Log in?
I'll be on a sailboat in Greece, so I don't think so.
Wow.
Unless you want to give me a sat phone, although I am bringing one.
They're not dependable.
Dates again, please?
July 11th or July 25th?
The 11th or what?
The 25th?
When are you not here,
I,
Mr. Chair?
yeah, I'm good for those too, but don't push it any further.
Well, August, we're, no.
We don't meet in
Okay,
August.
The second one in July then probably.
Yeah, because I hit the road that, yeah.
How
Okay.
soon would you want the plans before the meeting on the 11th if we kept to that date?
I think if you come in with them to the meeting, that's fine.
I know what you're looking for. You know what we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yep.
Let's do the 11th, please.
I'm happy to meet with Paul if you want before the meeting to review the plan to get a pretty good idea of what they're all looking for.
So would somebody like to,
So moved.
okay. Is
July
there a second?
11th.
Second.
New plans.
All right, all those in favor? Aye, Tanya.
I am it.
Hi, Freeman.
Hi, Phil.
All right, so continued till July 11th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you very much. Have
Yep.
a good night. Have a
Thank
good
you.
Fourth.
You too, Paul.
Fourth.
True, Paul.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey,
Silly, why not do it just like that?
yeah, I would. It's not getting built this summer anyway.
Come in with a plan showing that. You don't have the site visit, that's exactly.
Perfect. I did my own site visit. Those
But you would've
granite. Did
seen
you
all
build
the
it? Did you put
neighbors
those granite steps in?
Oh, geez, careful.
Who built that?
Are they doing?
All right.
I
Is
thought
it?
it was a wood citizen.
Is it? I just hated them.
That's wood.
Oh, right. All right.
All right.
Railing.
All right, can we ask, we got more hearings, so.
Yes, we do.
Any conversation that, can we have them outside the hearing room? Thanks.
I'm gonna go fill some
Hey,
water.
hey, folks,
Good night.
folks. Hey, folks.
Emmett, tell him to move into the hall. Just walks by him.
Hey, Paul, can you move these people out of the,
Thank you.
thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, the next matter is a matter that was on briefly earlier. It's 2024-11. We did not open it because the application was incomplete, so I'm going to read the public hearing notice, and we're going to formally open the hearing. The Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing tonight to consider the application of Christina and Brian Barry, care of J. Herzog, under Articles, for a special permit under Articles 400 and 900, Sections 401.4, 410.4, and 906.2 of the bylaw. The property is located at 33 Grandview Avenue, parcel number 83-955-002 of the Duxbury Assessor's Map, consisting of 3/4 of an acre in the Residential Compatibility District and owned by the applicants. They propose to raise and rebuild a pre-existing non-conforming deck attached to the dwelling where the proposed deck is 38.6 feet from the center line of the way. A special permit is required. The application can be viewed at the town's website.
This is it.
Folks who are differently abled, we will make accommodation for.
All right.
Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted in person and as a courtesy via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Please note that while an option for remote attendance or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public and to board members, the hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless so required by law. You can watch this live on the government access channels, Verizon 39 or Comcast 9, and you can also visit pac-tv.org/Duxbury for information about Duxbury programming, including streaming on Duxbury YouTube and video on demand. The way we do this is we first hear from the applicant. The board will ask questions to the applicant, then we'll open it up for public comment. What we have in the record so far is an application, a set of drawings, and do we have the comments from the other town boards?
Sure. There's a memo from the Conservation Administrator dated April 22nd. I have reviewed this case and determined it does not fall within the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. The proposed work is not within 100 feet of a resource area or 200 feet of a riverfront area, nor is not located in land subject to coastal storm flowage. No further review is needed. There's a memo from the health agent, Tracy Mayo, dated April 29th, stating the Board of Health has new issues with the raise and rebuild application for a deck. There's a memo from the Planning Board dated May 21st, 2024, from Scott Casagrande, the Chair, stating at a meeting of the Planning Board on May 20th, the Board voted 4-0 with one abstention to defer judgment on the special permit application for 33 Grandview Avenue to the Zoning Board of Appeals, noting that the application is only partially complete. And then there's a letter from abutters Susie and Skip. Susie Caliendo and William Bennett, 20 Seabury Point Road. That says, Dear Board of Appeals, we are writing in support of our neighbors Christina and Brian Berry in their application for a special permit to raise and rebuild a pre-existing non-conforming deck at their home. The Berries are wonderful neighbors, and we have enjoyed watching them restore their home with pride and care. A new deck will only enhance their home and be a place of enjoyment for their family for years to come. We hope that you will approve this permit. That's everything.
All right. Why don't we hear from the applicant?
Jay Herzog Architecture, representing Christina and Brian Berry. We are taking down an old deck. It's two-tiered. It's old. It's falling apart. It's non-conforming partially already, and what we're proposing to do is build a new deck, more or less in the same footprint, getting probably slightly more non-conforming than the original deck, however, not more non-conforming than the worst case of the entire structure, which is at, I believe, 33.5 is our most non-conforming condition. Worst case of the new structure will be 38.6 off the center of the road.
So is that, 5 feet?
We're getting closer.
Yeah, it's 5 feet. It's the most non-conforming condition is 33.5.
Can you bring it up, maybe? Would you mind pointing, Jay?
Yeah, so we're, this is the extent of the new structure.
Okay,
Our worst case is here.
okay, which is,
That's 33.5, this is 38 and.
Okay.
Okay.
makes sense.
The existing deck, however, was more than 36.9 feet from the center line, at least.
Yeah, it
that's
was,
the way I read the drawing.
It was probably closer to, yeah, it was probably off that closest corner. The other corner of the house is 36.9,
Yeah.
where the deck
Do that
began.
complete thing.
But that was
The original deck is
inset,
here.
yeah, that was inset from that
38
number.
and change or something like that, maybe 38.5 at that point. So we're bringing this out. That's our new worst case. The new deck is running pretty much parallel to the face of the edge of the house, the front side of the house. We're just running all the way down. Side setback is we have no problem with that one, as far as nonconformities.
We typically allow that as long as he's not getting closer, right? Is he extending the nonconformity but not increasing it?
He's actually increasing the nonconformity because the existing deck, it is nonconforming, but it's less nonconforming than
This new one.
the new one.
Proposed one, yeah.
So, does the board have questions? Is there anybody else here who wants to weigh in on this? All right, so the way we generally analyze these is if you're not making a new nonconformity, which you aren't making a new one, but you're extending the existing nonconformity, we have to determine whether it's detrimental to the neighborhood. So
You say extending towards the side setback?
you're extending towards the Grandview Avenue, the deck.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so that extends the existing nonconformity at least a couple of feet, and then,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Does anybody want to ask questions?
I don't have any.
I don't have any either.
Nor do I.
All right, I'm going to move to close the public hearing.
Is there anybody here that,
I didn't see anybody. Was there
Okay.
anybody on the wall who was interested?
I would second that, Wade.
let's make sure nobody's on the wall. There's nobody here who indicated interest.
Anybody on TV?
There's Boris and then somebody, William, in parentheses, Deb Goya, but
And
No.
Boris has no questions.
All right, all right, so, all right, so we have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor? Aye, Wayne.
I am it.
Aye, Phil.
Hi, Freeman.
Aye, Boris.
All right. In terms of discussion, I'd be in favor of approving the special permit request, making a finding on that although it does expand the existing nonconformity, that expansion is not detrimental to the neighborhood.
I would second that motion.
All right, he made a motion consistent with that. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye, Tanya.
Aye, Wayne.
Aye, Phil.
I am it.
Hi, Freeman.
Perfect.
Aye, Boris.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna sit the next one out.
Okay. So the last thing we have on tonight, I believe, is 2024-15. It's 73 Captain's Hill Road. I'll read the public hearing notice. Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing tonight via Zoom to consider the application of Paul Casali for a special permit under Articles 400 and 900, Sections 401.2,
Oh, it is?
.4, 410.4, and 906.2 of the bylaw. The property is located at 73 Capitol Hill Road, consisting of 0.47 acres in the residential compatibility district and owned by Paul and Claire Casali. The applicants propose to raise and rebuild a pre-existing non-conforming accessory garage. A special permit is required. The application can be viewed at the town's website. Any individual with disabilities will make accommodation for. And I've already read the Chapter 2 of Acts 2023 section, which indicates that we're going to proceed even if we lose the technology. Okay, we have an application. We have a site plan, set of drawings, memo from the Conservation Commission. The proposed work is not within 100 feet of a resource area. No further review is required. A memo from the Planning Board dated May 21. The applicant has applied for a special permit to raise and rebuild a pre-existing non-conforming garage structure. The property is located in the RC district. The proposed garage expansion includes a two-story garage with a storage and office space on the second floor and a breezeway connecting the garage to the house. The project also includes site work, regrading, tree removal, walkways, replacement of existing porch and patio area. The existing garage is set back 41 feet from the center line of Captain's Hill Road. The required setback is 45. The new garage will also be set back 41. Therefore, it will not increase the nonconformity. The site plan shows the removal of existing cedar trees in a proposed landscape area. The ZBA could consider asking for a copy of a landscape plan for that area, since the project will not increase the nonconforming front and setback and will not increase the nonconforming lot coverage. I believe the project will not be more detrimental to the neighborhood. That is the comment from the interim town planner, which was adopted by the planning board. Do we have anything else?
yes, Mr. Chair, a memo came in on June 11th from the Design Review Board stating at their regularly held meeting on June 10th, they, let's see here, they went through the plans, they went through extensive landscaping plan is also proposed for the property. We reviewed the materials submitted by the applicant, including a site plan, a landscape plan, floor plans, elevations, a rendering, and related material. After a short discussion, the Design Review Board concluded that it recommends approval of the proposal as presented. Signed, Stephen Williams, Chair.
Okay, so why don't we hear from the applicant, and then anybody, if the board has questions, we'll put those to the applicant, and then we'll go from there with any comments from the public in general.
Good evening, Deb Keller with Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. Applicant and owner Paul Casali is here with us this evening. As stated, the Casalis are looking to raise the existing garage structure and build a garage with a second-story office storage space above. We are maintaining the existing non-conforming setback to the front yard setback, measured both ways from the property line as well as from the center line of the road, as previously stated. We are reconstructing the driveway and installing a retaining wall with a few steps just to accommodate the grade, as well as on the corner, as mentioned, we did supplement the application with a landscaping plan to provide some detail. Take this off, I can walk over here.
Do you want the landscaping plan,
Sure,
Deb?
that would be great. I think that's the best one. We can use this one. I know that the landscaping plan had a little bit of color. But they're looking specifically to remove these large cedar trees that are in this sort of triangular area. They're a little bit overgrown. We have this retaining wall here allowing us to grade up to the new garage located in this location. So these three trees will come down, and some low landscaping here with some shrubs stepping back a little bit, and hopefully that will help with the sight distance coming around that bend. Yes, there you go. So this will be sort of a lawn area, and this is where you'll have more of the detailed landscaping. There's a couple of them I didn't recognize, but holly, hydrangeas, hostas. So it'd be nice here. The one thing that we were looking to do with the driveway locations, they're both in the same curb cut locations, is maintaining a memorial shrub on this side, so we didn't want to move that curb cut at all to not disturb that shrub in the front yard. So they're looking to maintain the existing driveway and parking area to the side here and have access up to the new garage from the back of that parking area, as well as access to the front of the house. Sorry, coming through here with a walkway up to the front, as well as the entrance through the breezeway from the new garage. Again, as stated, we are maintaining the setback. Existing conditions, 41.1 is existing to the existing garage. We're basically in the same location, just shifting it slightly and making the connection to the existing dwelling.
So do you have two driveways? There's one on,
There is, yes.
okay. And they don't link together?
No, the only way they link is pedestrian
Okay.
connections to the
Okay.
home.
Got it. I did have a question because the original application provided for, which was dated May 1st, provided that there would be office space over the garage, and then the revised application that was submitted May 20th provided that finished storage space would be above the garage. So which,
I believe it's finished storage space, and I'll defer to Paul.
Yeah, at
Yes.
one point, Paul Casali, I'm the owner of the property. At one point, we considered maybe using that for office space. However, now we think it's just going to be finished storage. We don't have an attic. It's a cape with no attic and limited storage. So we're taking advantage of the height and using it for storage.
got it, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Yep.
So my questions all are about this lot coverage calculation. It says existing coverage calculations, building coverage is 16%, so it's already over.
Yes.
What do you mean by site coverage?
So what we calculated out was everything that's impervious. So it would be
Okay.
the driveways, the walkways, decks. We have some new patio area coming in between the garage and the existing dwelling. So we were trying to show all of what was happening on the site.
So there's going to be 4%, 3% more impervious coverage.
That is correct.
All right.
That's typically something that you would see for conservation
Right.
purposes, but
Yeah.
not for zoning.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to understand what the number was.
Didn't want to hide anything.
I don't have further questions. Does anybody else?
That was pretty straightforward.
I don't know either. I just have one comment, and it happens a lot. I think it's neat to throw a before, just a real picture of what is there. You know, not just, I know the place, I drive by and I actually went there, but there isn't anybody here for the general public. It's nice to have that picture. This is what it is, this is,
So like an existing photograph?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'm happy to keep that in the back of my mind.
sometime. I think it's neat for the public and,
This is a real nice set of plans.
oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I
Yeah,
could pick
right,
out.
right. Is there anybody from the public who would like to comment, or anybody on the wall here? I see Mr. Casali back there. I think he's in favor of it.
I think Mr. Dallin is as well.
All right, I'm going to move to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye, Wayne.
Hi, Tanya.
I am it.
I, Phil.
I, DeWar's.
From my review of the plants, that they're just putting it where the existing garage is, and it's a little taller. I got no issue with this.
None.
Same.
All right, so I'm going to move to approve the special permit as requested.
I would second that. Emmett?
All right, all in favor, aye, Wayne.
I am it.
Tanya.
I, Phil.
I, DeWar's.
Okay,
Great, thank you so much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Do you need it?
I don't know.
That's a nice looking project.
Do we have any,
Do we have anything else?
perfect.
We do. We have to, can you pull the agenda up again? We do not have any minutes, but the board needs to choose someone to represent on the working group for
MBTA communities?
MBTA community and also the Halls Corner.
Phil, didn't you express interest in that?
I think we nominated Phil, didn't we?
Right.
I expressed interest in the MBTA one, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
I'll move to nominate Phil.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's administrative, good. Yep.
And then how about Halls Corner?
All right, so I don't know if this makes,
Emmett should be on Hall's Corner. That's where he lives.
yeah, I'm already on Hall's Corner as the planning board.
Oh, right.
But
So do we really need-
So we should put,
Overkill,
yeah, so we should put Emmett on.
You okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
because he knows more about Hall's Corner than anybody else in the room.
You voted, who'd you vote for A? Sorry, I missed that.
Phil?
Phil,
Phil?
Yeah, Phil. And I'll move to nominate or appoint Emmett to the Halls Corner working group.
all in favor, aye.
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 Negative.
You're
I'm
overruled.
on. That's fine.
Outvoted.
That's everything.
All right,
Perfect.
Okay.
move
No
to
minutes?
adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned.